Morning everyone. I'm slowly getting through this little cabinet of bulbs, bits and pieces, odds and ends, call them what you will, from that collector up north. Today I'm going to try and keep this video fairly short because I don't feel like talking too much. I've still got a stinking cold and I just feel like taking it very easy today. Anyhow, I know there was mentioned on Lighting Gallery a comparison between a normal, what I call a torch bulb, which would be that one here, or that style of lamp. This is actually a tubular lamp. Torch bulb is more round. This one's not a torch bulb, but it's that shape. This one was actually, looks like it was made to fit into a holder and will obviously fit into a piece of equipment. But anyhow, getting back to the torch bulb type, this is what I would call a torch bulb without the tubular. The tubular lamps were normally for radio panel lamps, so you could see what the stations were as you tuned them in. Anyhow, it's an MES base. This is jumping about a bit today. I'm actually using not the high definition camera, the other one. This is an MES, a miniature Edison screw. And that gives you an idea of the size. Now compare that to, and a friend of mine will be also showing the same thing on Lighting Gallery, I think. And of course he's suffering from the same thing as I'm suffering from, a blooming horrible cold and flu. But there's the other one there. I'm hoping these are going to turn out okay. They're jumping about a bit. Whether it's because I've got a shaky hand, I don't know. Then let's show you this one. This is LES, Lilliputian Edison screw. Very, very small. I first came across these when I was very young. I had a train layout, and you could buy little lights that would, which if you were doing like a display with the trains and the roads and that, well, these lights would be very small obviously, and this would be the style of bulb that they had in them. Of course now they're used for many things. I don't know how this is going to turn out. It's jumping about a lot. I'll show you a few other bits and bobs. This was obviously wherever the gentleman picked up neon lamps and that, he put them into these containers. There you can see hundreds of them. These are brand new. Well, most of them are brand new. There's some older ones there. Funny enough, if you put them near, now that'll interest another of my subscribers who rather likes these plasma device. Show you my head. And just by putting the neon lamps near it, they tend to glow. I'm sure the plasma head that Chris has got would be a little bit stronger than my one. I don't know about lighting them all up, but I think they probably would. Anyhow, there's a few neons, and on the side there, there's a few more different types. These have come out, obviously, they've been taken out of devices that had them in. Some of them, as you see, are still brand new. Some have got resistors on them. They're in series with the actual lamp. Got another one there. This might be actual green one. I don't know. It's one that was in the box. Well, I'll come a bit further along. We've got some other little indicator bulbs and things. I haven't tried any of these. These obviously been taken out of equipment. Let's pick the box up so I can show you what they're like. That one I haven't got the faintest idea what that is. It's got a very thin wire going to it. Whether it's a neon inside or just a filament lamp, I don't know. First time I've taken it out of this box, I think. Another small one, a little indicator there. Right, moving on. I did show, if I can find it, where I put it. Oh, there it is. I showed a neon bulb the other time. I'm pretty sure it's one of these. This is actually in the attachment that it comes in. There's no indication. Well, there is actually. It's 220 volts, which would mean there's obviously a resistor in there. 220 volts, 66W. That's obviously the model number, 66. Anyway, I'll show you the tube, or the little lamp. Get this to liven up on it. I showed one of these on the last video I put up. It's a neon, so perhaps I'd be able to give that a little test and see what it's like. Got another device there. There's a resistor in there. I think it's can't make out if it's actually a neon or a normal filament bulb. Certainly got some homework to do, haven't I? A few more neons. These are more or less the same as the first lot we looked at. Brand new, and I'm dropping one out of the little packet. Oh, guess where they're made? Made in China. Well, that's what's on the package. So I fancy that is probably the one. Loads of them. There's that one I dropped. That's what they look like individually. Pop that back in its box. Have a look in this last box. Someone's having a game here. Oh, these are all filament bulbs. These are the type of bulb you would get if you wanted to get a figural working again. I know it's cheating, But if you've got an unusual figural, say a Father Christmas or a Christmas tree or a pussycat or a dog, you know, and it burns out, it won't show up because it's burnt out. So what you can do, and I've seen this done, there's a friend of mine, unfortunately he's no longer with us, he lived in, I'm trying to think the name of the road, it was in London near Eltham, and what he used to do, he used to remove the cap, or gently take the cap off without damaging it, then the piece of glass that was still in there, which is obviously where they seal the bulb, remove that, either use a file and just make a little file cut and then snap it off. Having done that, you can pull out the old filament, and what do you do next? You put one of these through the hole. These ones might be a little bit on the large side, they do make smaller ones. I can show you the size of one they do make, but this is not the same size. No, that's the same size. Well, that might be the size. I know they are pretty small. And anyhow, if you do it carefully, you can get one of these put inside one of these lamps. Now, once you put these in, give it a dab of araldite just around the base so it seals the bulb in. You won't produce a vacuum, obviously the vacuum's in the actual bulb, so we're not worried too much about that. But if it's a dry condition when you do it, pop the bulb in, seal it up with a little drop of araldite, and then replace the cap by soldering the wires onto the cap, the contacts. You place the cap in with another little spot of araldite, and who's going to know you've changed the actual filament. Now these figurals, I believe, can be quite expensive, so there's a tip there. Obviously the voltage will be the voltage of these lamps, and these lamps are obtainable from specialist dealers. An example here, these ones, well, these ones are not that type of wire-ended job. These are like festoon type lamps. They're tubular and they're contacted each end, and these will have been used, and I remember those. If you've got years ago you could buy little amplifiers and that to boost a radio broadcast up, or a bit of music, and in it would be VU meters. I think it was VU meters. Well, anyhow, there was meters in them, and they were lighted. You could actually see what they were doing, and often or not, it would be that type of lamp. When the lamp blew out, you could, not easily, but it could be replaced, and that's what those would have been. As you see the price on there, 6 to 8 volt, 10p each. Well, I don't know when he bought these, but it was a long time ago. I think it would cost you more than 10p now. There's some other ones here. I'm glad to give this little talk on some of the odds and ends. I've sort of come away at this time from normal lamps and some of the other speciality lamps which we see. And a few more. These have got a slightly larger base. And focus up a bit. And they, according to the label, 12 volt, 2 watt, each 10p. Well, I say you couldn't buy bulbs now for 10p. Anyhow, everyone, that's showing you a few little lamps. Oops, there's lamps everywhere here. There's some small ones which are actually wide, they're permanently wide. Two more I've dropped out of the box. Oh, there's a few more LES, a Lilliputian Edison screw. There's a round one there, look at that. I've never seen one of those round before, but there's one there. One there slightly smaller there. Lilliputian Edison screw. This, I believe, is the smallest screw size they make. Another round one there. Lilliputian obviously comes from the word invented by Jonathan Swift, I think his name was, of Gulliver's Travels. Because Gulliver went to an island called Lilliput, and the people were very small. So hence Lilliput means small. It certainly fits those lamps. They're very small. But anyhow, you'll probably see another comparison on the lighting gallery, because I know a friend of mine is probably going to put one up to show you. That last look, that's as I say, the tubular lamp there. I don't know, I looked at the number on here. There is a number round the outside. 3586. I think it's actually an American lamp. There's no voltage on it, there's no wattage. It's made by Mazda. And I'm pretty sure it's possibly American. It's had some hours use. It's an outside frost, or it's certainly not clear. It's like a frost. The filament is very, very near the top of the bulb, which also indicates it could be an American lamp. I tried looking up the bulb number, but I couldn't find it. Anyhow, everyone, I'm going to make myself a nice cup of tea, take a couple of paracetamols, and take it easy today. So thanks for watching. I hope my voice is not too croaky. I know it's not as croaky as it was the other day. But anyhow, thanks again for your all looking at the stuff. And it's nice to know the stuff does get looked at. And might even turn the radio on. No prizes to thinking what they will be talking about. It's something I'm not allowed to say, so there we are. There's the last lot. Anyhow, thanks again. Thank you.